Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Good morning to you all. Isn't it a great feeling waking up to market new all-time highs? Jesus, look at this. Nothing can stop this market, man. It's yesterday at the end of the day, we had a bit of a pullback, which is fine because after hours, it just continued to get bought up. And now pre-market, we are making that new all-time high again. Last night after hours, we got rejected from this upper trend line. Actually, before we dive further into the market and individual tickers, just wanted to thank all of you for the support that you have been providing, for watching the channel and subscribing to the channel. We are now at 80 subscribers, and with me, being Asian, I love the number 8, so can't be wrong. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the support. Let's keep this going. If you like the content that you're seeing through our videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and we really appreciate it if you recommend it to friends, family, those who know that might be interested. All right, so let's get into the market. First, market making new all-time highs. Yesterday at 1 o'clock, the last hour, we came back, pulled back to this upper trend line of the wedge, the long-term wedge. Let's look at the daily here. There's a long-term wedge that has served as previous significant resistance. A slight break over it, got shut down right after, and now we are finally seeing a use of this upper trend line from the wedge as support. So overall, I am still looking bullish on the market, and ultimately, first target I'm looking at, or first potential resistance zone that I was looking at, the 39.27. We had a little bit of a stall on it after hours yesterday and pre-market today, but now we broke over it. So the first target that I've always looked at was the 40.90, which, depending on how you draw on the Fibonacci extension, you can draw it from this last move up, the lower low to the higher high to the higher low. That brings us to 40.90 even, or you can draw it from the move since November to the higher high to the lower low. That also brings us to 40.90. 0.5 difference, 50 cents difference. So I like where that's showing me. Again, one is 1-to-1 extension target from this move back in November. The other one is the 1 to 1.618 extension target from the most recent move. And I love the fact that they line up because confluence zones, key resistance support. In this case, it's going to be a key resistance. 40.90 is what we're looking at. Ultimately, this is an ideal target. 42.66. It's an extension target now that we went past the 1-to-1 extension. And this is based off of this lower low back here to the higher high to the higher low, the last big run. Okay, so ideally I want, of course, being bull right now, and for those of you that watched the video from yesterday, I am in full bull position, near all in, and looking very bullish on the market. Now let's take a look at the daily. The daily is getting a little bit extended from the 88, but even if we were to pull back, I would be looking at this previous trend line, this lower trend line from the wedge, as a support. Then from there, I would be looking for the next leg up, knowing that the 40.90 is our first target. And on the 4 hours, we can see this has been nothing but healthy higher lows. Straight bounce from previous GP hold. From there, it's been basically a hold on the 4-hour 8, except for that first bounce. We pulled back a little bit. Bounce was pretty hard, so it makes sense that we lost the 4-hour 8 a little bit. Got bought up right after. Nothing of concern. There's no red flags whatsoever. From there, 4 hours held again, and then yesterday we held the 4-hour 8 again, and yesterday after hours, and today pre-market we held the 4-hour 8 again, and we're seeing another move up. 4-hour is getting a bit extended. We are negating that bear flag or bear divergence. Daily just about to negate that bear divergence. Daily is still not overbought yet. However, do know that this is an index, so daily tend to really get overbought on an index. The only times that you can see overbought or oversold would be something like this, last year's pandemic. All right, so that's SPX. NAS clearly lagging behind a little bit. As we witnessed since the pandemic, the tech has been the greatest run. And now NAS is providing me with a little bit of a concern. We are at that 1-to-1 extension target. And we are seeing a little bit of wick off of it. And there is a bear divergence forming on this chart as well. So that's a little bit of a cause for concern. And as we all know, NAS is going to be the one that moves the market. In majority of the cases, their weighting on SPX is a lot higher than most others. Next is Dow, and we can see made new all-time high. Clear decreasing on volume. Liking today's volume actually. There's still 8 hours to go and our volume is already quite high. Considering the decrease on the volume today will likely be over yesterday's volume. There is the slight bear divergence, so be careful. Just know where the market is at. If you are playing full bull like myself, be aware of where the market's at. You don't want to be caught with with the surprise. So the message I sent out to the chat room today is be patient, patiently greedy, as well as be agile. Okay, and haven't looked at this for a few days now. The US 10-year over 2-year, still no cause for concern. We are now grinding up along that daily 8. Lost it ever so slightly from this upper trend line back here, the rejection from upper trend line, and now we are grinding up. VIX, we wicked down below. We wicked down below 20. Didn't make a new low. The low back here was 1951, and this is pre-market. Went down to 1969. Today, we did get very extended from the daily 8. So today, we gotta see whether if there's gonna be follow through. I don't imagine that we will break the lower trend line of this long-term wedge today. So that is a second cause for concern for the market as a bull. This trend line is holding. There's a clear wick off of it now. So be cautious. Gold, still in that channel. Silver, slight bounce beginning. And I'm going to keep this circle there just because I am in silver looking for that legger play to gold. Something like this back here. So looking for this next run up on silver. And looks like the trend is bullish now. I want to see confirmation breaking. Let's see if there's a trend line here. Yeah, I want to. The first most ideal is to break this trend line. We can clearly see that it's been rejecting from it. One rejection. Now we're having a little bit of a stall. Silver is looking strong though. One thing I noticed last night after the video was US dollar. Remember how we were looking bullish on US dollar, but then the market turned around and became bullish. So with the market being bullish, US dollar is looking bearish. And now we have that confirmation. We broke over the trend line and got, I wouldn't really call this, I don't know if I would call this a breakout fake out, just because we did get over it and have 3 days straight of being over it. Then from there, this is the red flag, bearish engulfing candlestick. Then from there, it's just continuation. Broke through all sorts of supports all in one go. And now the only thing left is this upper trend line from the wedge. Once this is broken, it's a confirmation of full bull for the market. Okay, so this is what I like to see, especially with me being in the position. So then this sort of counters the other two red flags. Overall, not too concerned about the market yet. It is not enough red flags for me to get out, but we'll be looking at taking profits on some positions today. And BTC, yeah, anyways, we'll be looking at taking some profits on some names. I haven't been this much into the market ever since that last Tesla SPX uplisting. Feeling extremely confident, and that's why I was okay swinging into it. Now, one thing to be aware is today, generally, if you look back on previous days, let's see, except for last Wednesday, of course, we were doing that bounce, but even last Wednesday, it was a stall day. But before that, I'm gonna have to pull up the calendar here. Before the 3rd is 27, 20, 13. So 27th, clear red day. 20th, okay, this is a bull day. 13th, slight bull. Overall, there is a saying of redness day. Generally, in the middle of the week, less people will be trading. It's a chance for bears to take control on the day. Overall, market is still very bullish, even if the bears were to take control today. But knowing that is part of the reason why I will be looking to take some profits off particular tickers that has run so much. All right, and last but not least, market-wise, I think this is probably one of the hotter tickers instead of market. But I do like to look at Bitcoin as part of the market because it's now starting to serve a little bit of as a indicator. So let's look at the Bitcoin. Bitcoin's such bullish action, partially due to Elon Musk or Tesla buying 1.5 billion worth on Bitcoin, and that was, which candle was it? Tuesday. Oh, this is Monday. I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday's candle. Regardless, we are looking to form that daily bull flag now. Volume is notable, especially with 10 hours being left on the day. The bear volume is starting to come in. Let's look at the hourly. Yeah, cause for concern on Bitcoin bulls. There is a spike in bear volume at 5:30. So be aware of that. With a spike such, do we usually get volume at 5:30? 5:30. Okay, no, it's not a cause for concern. It's we usually get volume at 5:30 anyways, which is different than the markets because, of course, with the market being open at 7:30 is our volume spike on the market. With Bitcoin, seems like 5:30 is the spike. But looking back at the previous volumes, I still think this is something worth notable. At the very least, something worth notable. Even though there's a big upper wick down below, Bitcoin could be looking at slight pullback, especially considering how far we're extended from that 88. We'll be looking for a formation of bull flag. And depending on how fast we pull back, will be something that looks like that. All right. Something a little bit surprising to me. My cousin Cassandra from Taiwan had just reached out to me minutes before going live, and she was asking about this TLRY. My goodness, look at this. Congrats, Cassandra. Holy, really, oh, some bad language almost came out there, but congrats, Cassandra. Jesus, I didn't know you were in this name. I hope it's not from the bag from way before. Like, I hope it's not, but of course I hope you were in, never going to be at the bottom, but somewhere around here, you know, the trend change, clear daily trend change. And now looking at this gap up, it's 35% gap up. Congrats. Jesus Christ. Look at this volume. This was definitely a gold signal yesterday. This gap up today is going to be the climax. And we will likely be looking at, very likely, extremely likely be looking at a pullback straight from there, profit taking. However, one thing that I am noticing is the gap where we're getting taken to is not a significant previous resistance support zone. So there could still be room to run. See, this is a noticeable previous resistance zone. Rejection, rejection. However, there was no support. Okay, maybe back here. But even this is not really significant. The gap that we're going into, I'm not seeing any clear resistance or support there. So that gives a chance of continuation. But do know this, charts don't generally leave a huge gap such as this one behind. That is a 35. Okay, now it's already starting to pull back. It's now down to 33.6%. So on this, if you're in, and if you're active trading, if you're in an active trading, I would recommend taking some profit. Because from here, 1, 2, this is the third gap. So first gap back here, second gap, third gap. Then looking at the volume yesterday, we'll be looking at pullback. 34. But regardless, congrats. Had you gone in from, you know, somewhere the beginning of we won't even use the beginning of this daily trend change. Let's just say, you know, you saw momentum and you got in somewhere here when we started popping. Or let's say you got in at the break of $10. That alone is a 312% move on 23 trading days. 312%. Now, the clear support is still this trend line. We are extremely extended from a daily 8. Don't imagine that we will be pulling back to this trend line. That would be a very significant red flag. From here, I am looking at an increased momentum, something more like that. So let's say we pull back, you know, it's going to be something like this. A dragged out daily bull flag. This was a beauty. We held that daily 8. Not one single loss of the daily 8. Closing underwise. So from here, what I'd be looking with the gap up would be probably something like that. Most ideal, touch this new increased momentum trend line, and so slight sideways, then from there set the next leg up. Marijuana, remember guys, marijuana MJ sector is very bullish going into 2021 and had remained bullish. With Biden in power, we will be looking further bullish into the end of 2021. All right, the other one to cover, CGC. And guys, for those of you that are watching, I do see that there's 4 viewers right now. If you have any tickers that you want to request, feel free to put it in the comments. I will be checking in on it. Let me know what tickers you guys want to see. Before any of the comments come in, I'm just gonna cover most of the marijuana sector first. It is where the hot, demanding views are, or where all the eyes are right now. As of yesterday, today, or even before. Same. All right. So CGC, similar action. Earnings yesterday pre-market. The revenue, the earnings per share was a negative. Negative 648% versus analyst expectation, but the revenue was a positive. With the revenue being positive, people, I guess the market loved what they saw. So even with the 648% negative on earnings per share, we did see a huge bull volume, bringing us over. Can't remember. Let's see if we made new all-time highs. No. So today's open is gonna be right on that resistance zone. What does that mean? For those of you that haven't experienced this too much, when you're gapping up right into resistance zone, that is 100% sell. 100%, regardless. You know, it's okay. Remember, it's okay to buy back in higher, but when you are seeing a gap up into all-time high, especially all-time high resistance, make sure to take profits. Look at all these upper wicks back here. I don't really like how that's drawn. Let's go that way. Look at all these upper wicks back there. Let me tell you why we're selling, okay? First, we are far extended from the daily 8. Not the furthest that we have seen, but we are far extended from. We're far extended from the weekly 8. We are extended from the daily 8. We'll be looking at, you know, like 18% extended from the daily 8, something like that. Extended from the daily 8 into resistance. After a huge volume, there is going to be profit taking. Just think of it this way, guys. All those guys who bought back here, especially even these wicks, they had waited 126 trading weeks. 126 trading weeks. That is a year and a half. They had waited a year and a half, beg holding what they bought back here. Now they're finally seeing it is so close, a key resistance to close to the price of where they bought from. And if you were, just think of it, if you were in their shoes, you know, even if you were an experienced trader, think of yourself when you're back, you know, just starting to trade. You weren't that experienced. What did you do? You held bag for a year and a half, and then finally came the chance that you see that the price is so close, or maybe just ever so slightly green. What would you do? You're gonna be taking profits, or you're gonna be cutting that bag. Finally, a year and a half later, the price has came to somewhere where it's more an acceptable loss versus, you know, just continue this. If you held back here, this would have been holding on hope. This would have been holding on hope, okay? And then your hope started diminishing, and now your hope is back, and you're getting the chance to exit. Slightly green or ever so slightly small loss. People will be taking this chance. This will be, especially look at this key resistance, we will be pulling back. I'll be surprised, I'll be astonished if we were to just blast straight through this zone into new highs. I mean, in the first 15-30 minutes of the market, we could be seeing a full blast upwards, but from there, I'm looking at anticipating a pullback. So that's the guide on CGC. Make sure if you're green, take some profits. You've had the bag for a year and a half. Take some profits. All right, next one, BFF. Look at that, Cassandra. Welcome to the video. And she got CGC 4 years ago, and it's back. It is back. Hey, congrats, Cassandra, on TLRY. make sure to take profits on your CGC, okay? All right, next one, VFF. Similar idea. We're getting extended from the 88. Are we all-time highs? We are all-time highs. Congrats, VFF bulls. One of the most bullish ticker in MJ sector. Congrats, VFF bulls. So similar idea, except we are not gapping up into resistance. Yesterday, we broke that previous all-time high close and closed at a new all-time high on not very notable bull volume. So today, the highest of the three tickers we covered in marijuana sector so far, this has the highest chance for continuation. We are extended from the 88, but we are in blue skies, lack of resistance. First sign, if the marijuana sector were to pull back, I would be looking at first gap fill, likely to come back to the real body close of yesterday. Then from there, we have a chance of continuation. This golden pocket hold from back here, this last move, this golden pocket hold was amazing. Bear volume is not very convincing for bull plays, considering that there's significant bear volume back here. But we are in blue skies, high chance or higher chance of continuation versus other marijuana plays. All right, that's it for, I think. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at a couple others. This one has been an interesting ticker. This was my baby back in marijuana days, 2018, 2019, 2017, 18, 19. I think I started playing it 2016. But anyways, it was my baby back in these days. Look at the move on this. This was 223% on 25 trading weeks. So considering, comparing to what we're playing nowadays, this is nothing too significant, but it is a, what are they called? I can't remember anymore. It's a real estate investment trust. No, that doesn't sound right. It's I want to say a REIT, but I don't think it is. Anyways, it is real estate based. So for that kind of sector, for them to have this kind of move, it's amazing. So this company, what they do is they buy real estate properties and then either rent out or resell to marijuana companies and make a profit from there. Now let's look at the move from pandemic low. Since pandemic low, we're looking at near 11 months now, and that's 440% move. This has been a straight runner. So we'll be looking at this name, but probably won't be trading it because now that we know there is a lot more other US tickers with better volatility, especially with me being a full-time day trader. Earnings is coming up February 24th, daily continuation. Doesn't seem to respect the 88 as much. So you can play around with the exponential moving average to determine which one it respects more. On the last hold, we did hold a 0.5, never closed under it. So the chart is still relatively strong. But remember, as marijuana sector, if marijuana sector were to pull back, this would be affected too. Just another ticker to add to your list. I like this ticker. It's relatively safe comparing to some of the other things that we play. So depending on your time frame, how long you're investing for, it could be a good ticker for you to just basically invest long-term wise. All right. Another one I want to look at, River. Canopy Rivers, subsidiary or owned by CGC or started by Bruce Linton, I want to say. Been a while. Bruce Linton, the CEO who started CGC. He also started this one. So this we can clearly see back, I think it was here, just under that $1. Oh yeah, look at the volume. It was on December 21st. They announced that they are doing equity consolidation or equity sell-off or something like that to improve revenue. And from there, it's been a straight run up. The volume is increasing as well. From there, we have ran 214% in 33 trading days. I love this increasing volume. If you're not in, wait for the higher low. It respects the 88 pretty decently. So the 88 would be your entry if you're looking for a further upside. Overall, I love what this chart is doing. It is a smaller cap, much smaller cap comparing to some of the other marijuana plays that we're looking at. So yeah, there's potential for further upside. And that's it for marijuana sector. Bear with me, guys. Just gonna quickly check if see if there is a ticker request. All right, let's get into the hottest tickers. Tesla. Let's start with that. Daily. Such a messy chart. All right, you know what? I'm gonna delete these. It's making it hard for me to read. So, guys, when you're drawing on your charts or you're looking at your charts, try to keep it as clean as you can. You don't want it too clogged up, too messy. It's all it's gonna do for you. It's gonna unfocus you. If your chart was so messy like mine before, it's first you can't see what you've drawn. You sort of lose sight of what you were thinking when you drew them. So make sure, you know, there's a button on the side. Let's see if you guys can see it. Oh, you can't see it. On the left hand side, there is a button of a trash can, in the icon of a trash can. That will delete all of your drawings. So that's one way. When I first started trading, I used that basically every morning. It's a good practice for you as well. You know, you delete all your drawings, redraw what you see. You might see something different, but for me, over time of practice, I found that, you know, I started seeing the same things. Just delete the ones that are more distracting, just noise. All right, let's look at Tesla. Slight gap down, 0.34, nothing concerning. We are holding that 0.382. We are holding that 0.382 from this move up. But let's see if what it looks like on the most recent move. A little bit of a cause for concern. We did lose that GP. So now, if we're looking at this, I'm still a little bit bearish on Tesla. I know a lot of people are, and you're probably gonna get some dislikes for saying this in video. But regardless, I am still looking a little bit bearish on Tesla, and I did say that I was looking bearish back here too. Ended up being a breakout fake out. So from here, looking at a backtest of the 0.5, which lines up with the support and which lines up with the potential lower wedge. We don't know if this is or lower trend line of the wedge. We don't know if this is a lower trend line yet because there has not been a second touch. This is sort of just like a random draw that what I was anticipating. But if we do get here, don't get stopped out. If you're in already, you've been in through this whole pullback, don't lose sight of the target. The target is at 1,000 on Tesla. So overall, long-term wise, I am still looking bullish on Tesla. And to me, my long-term might be different than your long-term. My long-term, I'm looking at week, 2 week, 3 week kind of thing. I'm not looking at yearly. I do have an account for extra long-term that's, you know, barely, I just invested and barely touch it. But when I'm discussing it in my videos, when I say long-term, I'll be looking at, you know, week-wise, not month or year-wise. So over the long term, we are still looking bullish up until that 1,000 target. Let's see. I can't remember where this was drawn from. Let's draw a new one. This doesn't look great. Now that there's a new price. There, 1050. That's the target. So from the low that we clearly held the GP to the high, to the higher low. We are, and the other way you could draw this is, to here. But I like it here because we can see a clear stall here, then the lower low. So target first, obviously there's going to be key psychological resistance at 1000, but the target is telling us 1050. So regardless, we know there's going to be a key psychological resistance at 1000. Over the long term, still looking at 1000 as the target, but over the short term, I want to see a test of this support zone lining up with 0.5. So don't get stopped out in the sense that if you were in somewhere back here, you nail the bottom, you are still green, but make sure to keep your stop under this key support. Okay, we can see broke under support right here, fake out, break down, then in the zone again, supported right here again. There, aside from these two, there's been no real close under it, so I like where that support is telling me. The close of this day would be the bottom of that key support zone that I'm looking at, 831.62. So make sure that if you have a stop in place, don't place it under this one. What I would do is place it under that 831. All right, that's it. Oh, and I do apologize, I lost track of time. It is 7:20, market is opening in 8 minutes, so let's speed through a few other tickers. Let's go through the top watches. Next one would be Amazon. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean this chart up too. Amazon, very so slightly gap up, 0.04%. We are still in that. This is a potential wedge, likely not. There's a new trend line up here, so you can't make sure to use this upper trend line. Short term wise, that is keeping us down. Ultimately, I still want to see a hold of this low back here. This is, I think, one of my number 5, number 6 play. That's relatively smaller size. And we want to hold that 3279.8. Next, NVDA. Bull flag formation on the 4 hours. It is going to take some time. Someone asked me a question yesterday of how long I'm expecting for the NVDA bull flag to form. It's going to take some time. Each candle is 4 hours, so even if we're to do 3 more candles, you're looking at a day or two into the end of this week. But from there, I am looking extremely bullish on NVIDIA. It's one of my top 3 plays. From here, I want to see, definitely not a close under the 88, something like this, and full continuation. Want to see that volume come in into new all-time highs, all-time high resistance at 589.07. Next one, NEO. I believe this one's flat open. Not really ideal. From a bull perspective, I do like to see flat open because considering this is the beginning of a move, increasing bull volume, today I want to see that continuation into new highs. Ideally break that high of day. There is a key resistance somewhere around here, about 64.10. That once that breaks, we'll be looking at all-time highs. Extremely bullish on NEO. Keep your eyes on it. Top 3 play as well. Next, Zoom. Number 1 play. Zoom, we are looking at continuation. There is a slight gap up today, $4, $4.34. And from here, we have passed the 0.382 fib retracement. I want to see a break of this key resistance at 434 today. 434.09, so 435 basically. I want to see a break of that today. This is the most ideal open as well because we are opening right at the top of resistance, so there is a chance of rejection. But seeing the continuation, the lack of bear volume, I want to see a break of this. From there, we will be looking up at this gap fill, or actually, sorry, I keep making that mistake, so better draw it. At this gap fill, up until this gap, 460. Should be a straight shot up. There's a lack of resistance, so loving what we're seeing here. And last but not least of my top watch is Snow. So on Snow, decent gap up, 3.35%, gapping up at 324.81 as of right now. So exact same idea. We're gapping up right into the top of that resistance zone. Except that there's no gap to fill. There is a lack of resistance. If we were to break this key resistance of 325.33, we will be looking up at that 350, which makes sense. Key psychological resistance. There is a 0.382 right above here as well. But yeah, look for that break. Look for that volume first thing on both Zoom and Snow. 350 first target. All right, that's it for today's morning live. Thank you for all those of you who have joined and commented. It's been fun. So now that I spent an hour in today's video setting up and figuring out, we should be good to go in the future. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. And if you're looking to get out of debt or build that first pot of gold, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button in order to get updates on our daily videos. Also, check out our website at totalcontroltraders.com. We are offering that 7-day free trial, and people who've joined so far, they are loving it. Check out our work community. 7 days, it's free. See if it's for you. Doesn't hurt, right? And I hope you guys stay safe and be in control. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I will see you guys in the next video.